Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're headed to Amherst, Ohio. We're going to be meeting up with Christine, and she's going to be showing us her dahlias, her koi pond, and her rain garden. Really looking forward to it. Here we go. Oh wow, so pretty.
Come on back. This is all of my space. I could have used
you
another
need.
No, I keep looking that way, going, will they let me use their
I
yard?
mean, if you ask nicely, maybe.
I have two dahlia beds, and that's the largest at 180 plants approximately. This one is, I think, 70. They're all in grow bags, and then over here we have everything in the ground, like a typical vegetable garden. This we just dug. I used to do dahlias before, but never on this scale. I went from 1 to 260 pretty quick.
Wow, they're beautiful.
So my husband built this. We have some rabbit issues. We have some vole issues. So we did the hardwire cloth that if you lean on it, it comes off. I've done it at her. So yeah, we can take a look at the dahlias.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have all kinds. I have ball, I have cactus, I have stellar, I have some collarettes. I started kind of getting into collarettes last year.
I know I've been hearing about those.
Yeah, there's some.
I don't really know that much, so I mean,
Well,
you know,
ask.
tell us.
Yeah, okay.
Tell us.
All right. Let's see. I don't know. I could probably start with, I guess, what the different varieties. Like that's a pompon. Love those. They can get super tiny. There's some over there. You see that little raspberry guy, and they're so people are like, oh, I don't like that, but these are amazing, like in a bouquet when you're trying to put filler in. So if you're gonna grow dahlia, you got to add pompons in. This is
So you're suggesting that we have every single kind.
I am suggesting that yes, you build your dahlia bed on thinking of a bouquet, like a big focal flower. You're talking dinner plates, like 8 to 10 inch. Some decorative, formal decoratives, and then you can go to like a medium size with the balls. These would be my favorite.
Yeah, which ones are these?
That one is
beautiful.
No, it isn't. That one is, I have 260 long cress. So yeah, that's about nice little yellow creamy center. If you look really close, you'll see some cucumber beetles in.
No, let's not look too close.
Do you want those? Yeah.
No, I do not want those.
Okay. Lots of drunk bees. This is another feature of the garden. Can you get him in there?
Oh yeah.
He will probably spend the night. I have a big struggle here with organza bags because I need them for the pests.
Yeah.
But these guys,
I feel like you're cheating them a little bit.
I do.
I know.
But I haven't had to use them all season until now. So anyways, back to the others. That you'll see like this orange, which is called Bloomquist Jean, that big tall one. That thing is nearly 8 feet. Those are really awesome to have in a bouquet. So, and when you do make your cuts, don't throw these guys out. You'll want to take a cut down here for a bouquet, but keep him because he looks cool on them as well. This is probably, I think this is a stellar or a formal decorative, one of the two, hiding in his bag. I can always take a bag off if you want to. We'll look at some. So, I don't know. Basically, yeah, don't fall in the hole.
I'll try not to fall in the hole. Oh wow.
Yeah, somebody actually just called me about these. She may
That
want them
is
for this
something
weekend.
else.
So I did bag them. But they are called, this is a variety called Who Me. And honestly, it was a mislabeled tuber when I bought it. So, ta-da.
So when it bloomed, you said,
I said, hey, this isn't that particular one. And
holy cow.
you can see it's like kind of background there of pink.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, so that's nice. If you're gonna do dahlias, I'm gonna recommend that you join a dahlia group or you find a dahlia friend who knows, if you're new to it, because this happens. It's you pay for a tuber. They say it's Clearview Daniel, and then it opens up and it's nothing like that because they get mislabeled. So that's something I guess to watch out for.
That's amazing.
That was called a la mode.
A la mode. Wow.
Yeah. We can take a look. So dahlias, I guess, are, for me, they're kind of easy. For some people, they just have a lot of trouble, and a lot of it, I think, is your environment. I mean, we have like a perfect environment for dahlias, even though I get really jealous of the people who can keep them all year long. They can just replant a new bed, cut them down. They don't even have to tear up the tubers. But for us, it's May to potentially November.
Have you tried overwintering any of them, or
Yeah.
do you just?
Yeah.
Have you had any luck at all?
Yeah. Because we're in Ohio and we have like cold winters, and lately we've had mild ones, but you have to have the right inside conditions or a garage. The best place to put them for me, because I have an attached garage, is to put them in a container on a wall that is an inside wall of my house.
Okay.
Because my garage will get cold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people like to store them in their basement. I don't think if you have a heat in your house, I don't know about basements, but that is Clearview butterscotch. It's a beauty. You're seeing some, and typically I deadhead all the time. I stopped deadheading because I want to collect seeds.
Do you collect seeds from all of them?
Anyone that'll give me a seed, yes. Some of them they just won't. They don't get pollinated for whatever reason, or the pollination didn't work.
So have you ended up with crosses that you didn't expect?
No, this will be my first year that I'm actually going to try to collect seed and plant.
Oh.
I've been tuber this only, just tubers.
So next year you may have some big surprises.
Next year I plan to have a little raised bed with just my whatever they are.
You start from seed?
Yeah, my whatevers.
Mm-hmm.
This is a nice section of Cafe au lait minis that have 0 blooms because they haven't bloomed yet.
Yeah, I grew Cafe au lait last year. When I was telling you I grew 1 tuber last
Yes.
year, it was Cafe au lait.
Okay.
And it was forever until it bloomed.
Okay. Well, my big cafes are going. They're already blooming. But the minis, I have about 11 plants. I have a florist waiting on these to open. And the best I got was this one little piece kind of opened up. And I was
Yeah.
getting there.
Come on, babies.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
There's no coaxing them. There is no coaxing them. There's nothing you can do. But yeah, we have like a really great environment for them, for dahlias. So I get people coming by and they're like, I never knew they could be in the ground like that. I keep in pots on my deck, which you can also do.
When did you start growing them?
Just a few years ago. I started, I think it was Gail's greenhouse or something in Westlake. I picked up a couple of their tubers and I watched these potato looking things that were drying up in my house and had no clue what I was doing.
And then you
So I did the deep dive, you know, and it was shockingly, come April or May, it was sprouting because there's a whole process behind getting them to sprout. And if you can get that far, you're good. If you can get the green sprout to come up, chances are it's gonna make it. But yeah, it's tricky putting them in the ground. I would say, if I had to choose, I would just continue to do the vegetable garden style, where I have rows of tubers planted. But the pots for me, and the bags, they dry up quick. I don't really have a lot of time to keep watering this 3 times a day. I'd rather water my giant garden once or twice.
Right. Yeah, everything I have at home is potted. And I spend about an hour watering every 2 days or so.
Okay. Wow.
Smaller pots I usually have to water every day.
Yeah.
And I propagated some roses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watering those every day also. Just a little sprinkle just to keep them from drying out.
Right. Ever since we had that really bad rain event that was going on for 2 weeks here?
Yeah.
I kind of got a little off with, I couldn't tell what they needed anymore. I was very good at telling when they needed water. After that, I was like, well, they must have enough. Well, they didn't. They were starting to get a little droopy.
I think with all the rain too, you know, they run through the nutrients faster, and especially in grow bags and pots, because I deal with that a lot.
Yeah, it definitely depletes your soil. But with dahlias, probably some people do it in late August or into early September. They stop fertilizing. I don't. I'm kind of a heavy fertilizer type of person. If I think they need it, then I give it to them. But I did stop just about a week ago. No more fertilizer for them. It has something to do with the tuber production. Got to stop making them try to grow up top and get the tubers to perform and make more tubers or get healthier. I guess take all the sugars into them to make them healthy to survive the winter when they get yanked out of the ground.
Right. So do you divide them in the spring then? Or have you not done that much dividing yet?
I have, but it depends on like when you pull it in the fall, and that's the thing about these. The whole process is we're already in October, right? So
yeah.
The weather's pretty good. Dahlias really like 50-degree nights and mornings. They're
Look at that devil on there.
Where is he?
Oh, it's so hard to see.
Let me put him in my bag.
We're all dealing with that.
Well, I didn't realize that they come out of your ground. Learned that. I thought they flew in from like another city, but they don't. They come in from your ground. And it's terrible. So basically, since we're already in October, I hear a lot of people already digging them up, and I'm not ready to do that yet, but what you should do is once your dahlia starts to look spent, meaning like mine's new growth, new buds, it's still coming. If yours is kind of running out of, looks like energy, you're supposed to cut about 50% of the plant just down, because at that point then its energy is then going into, again, tuber production, because that's what you want. So you have more tubers, increase your chance of success, because you'll lose some. So you wait until you cut that down. Then we're going to have a frost. Don't dig them then. Wait for one more frost and let the second frost just deaden it. First one's going to kill it, but the second one is when you want to wait.
Takes it all the way down.
Yeah, and then you're going to start digging them out. Pitchfork, gently lift them out. Now, if you pull it out, and a dahlia has these tubers, like I said, they look like potatoes. Each tuber is going to have the body, and it'll go up to a neck, and then there's a crown in the tubers, or underneath the soil, that all the tubers kind of like are connected to. So when you take that tuber, you have to cut it in such a way that you get a piece of the crown, the neck is intact, and the body doesn't have holes, worms, bugs, whatever. Right, something called a wire worm. Don't even want to talk about it. But you'll pull those up. If you see eyes, and that's the key, you don't want a blind tuber. A blind tuber means it has no eyes on it. If your tubers and your crown are showing eyes, at that time you pull it, cut it, divide it. Because then when you overwinter the whole clump, let's say come spring, you're trying to wake them up, the eyes kind of recess a little, harder to see. So some, when you dig, you really won't notice an eye well. Some over winter will start to show their eyes better. It just depends on which one it is. So for me, if I see eyes right away, I'm like, cut.
Divide right away.
Divide it. Just get it done. Label them. There's a couple different ways you can do it. There's a million different ways, I shouldn't say a couple. But here, a lot of people in Ohio do the saran wrap method. I'm not a big fan. It's just a lot of saran wrap. And so my preference is to take the clump, knock the dirt off, put it in a bag, wood shavings or vermiculite, either one. I kind of do 50-50. And then tie it up, put it in your tote or whatever you're going to store it in, your bin, and let it sit in the garage or a cool space, about 40 to 45 degrees. Then you just have to check on it periodically. That's what works for me, but it depends. Some people have a cellar. Some people have a detached garage. It's too cold, because you don't want in your basement where it might get 60 degrees. Your tubers will start to wake up.
And I'm assuming you want to avoid temperature fluctuations too.
Yes, you don't want to freak them out. They're meant to kind of just go dormant. This is a new one that just popped up for me today. I had not seen it. I took a picture of him today.
Let's see,
It's called Pink Button.
Oh wow, so cute.
The woman I purchased it from said, this is an heirloom variety. I'm like, what does that mean? And she's like, I don't know.
I think heirloom's a term that we just kind of throw around a lot, and we're not really sure exactly what it is.
We're calling it pink button, and now you own it. So yeah, the process is all of that, from kind of the frost to the letting it kill it twice, to digging, to labeling and storing. Some people have really, there's a woman I know, she just throws them all in a box. She does very little with them, throws them in her garage, and ta-da.
Magic.
Come April, there they are. Everybody else is doing all of these, magic to them to get them to survive.
That's kind of how I feel about my roses. I see so many different things, and I'm doing them all in pots and deadheading them and just keeping an eye on them, and they're doing great. I'm not having I have difficulty with crazy.
Roses. Yeah, there's another side.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
So, as far as planting the dahlias, I know we talked before about where do you get them. Well, honestly, you can go to a garden center in the spring and you can find dahlia tubers, or go to Marketplace, search it. You're going to find people that are selling them in your area.
Do you order any online?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
From catalogs?
Yeah, I kind of avoid the rush of fall ordering because I don't want to give somebody money and wait for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months even for my thing to arrive. And if it does arrive, because what can happen is they got the quantities wrong, they have your money for 6 months, and then they tell you, hey, sorry, we can't fulfill your order. That is called amorous. Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
These are my little spindly guys. Sun is a big thing for dahlias. So if you're gonna plant a garden where you have movable pots and things, you're gonna put them in the soil. You need to find 8 hours of sun per day. Where we are now with my bed, I would get mostly evening, late afternoon sun, and it was getting 8, almost 10 hours. Now that we're in fall, the sun is kind of skipping by this back part of the bed. And these guys are getting spindly and they're reaching. They're all kind of leaning. I've started to do the halfway down cut on some of them that I didn't feel are going to give me anything more. Oh, look, another one. So, but yes, you can go online. There's some bigger farms, a lot of farms in Seattle, in Washington, the state of Washington. I personally would look in Ohio or look around the area, Pennsylvania, maybe Michigan even. You can find sellers that have a big farm looking for a specific variety you want. I have probably 170 varieties, 260 plants, so I have multiples of some. But it's definitely sun dependent. I mean, like these really are. I mean, they will start to get, there's diseases, powdery mildew, where they're not getting enough air circulation, combination of rain, humidity. Watch your step here. You don't want to fall in the hole.
Yep, not today.
No.
You moving this?
Yeah, it's shading the bed. It was.
No.
Look at that root ball.
Sorry, buddy.
It's my favorite tree. It's a Princeton gold maple, and it looked like it was a great spot for it until the dahlia bed showed up.
Right. Until you decided you needed a new hobby.
Exactly. But anyways, the tubers, when you buy them, you first need to wake them up. Some people just throw them straight in the ground and they work for them. I don't understand that magic either, but tubers, when I have them, I need to wake them up in the house. I'll put them in a little baggie or in a tote with some soil. Grow lights, that's a big plus. And then you're going to want to start to get them, the little eyes to wake up. And then out comes your shoot. And as soon as that's coming up, it's a little bit tall, then go outside. If you're doing it inside like that, you're going to want to harden it off though, in and out, just like vegetables, just like tomatoes. You can't just throw them out into the scorching sun and then expect them to live. I've killed many that way. So once they're all sprouting and they have a couple sets of leaves, little baby leaves, in they go, 6 inches down. I think personally they do better. If you notice, my rows are slightly mounded. I personally think they do better in that sort of, I guess, the way that it's buried. When it's flat, your ground is going to settle and it's going to tend to puddle. So some of those tubers are going to rot. So when you have it raised, what it does for me is I'll have 2 rows, one raised on each one, and then it creates like a little river in between them where the water goes and sits, and it works really well, and it has each time I've done it. So when they go in the ground, super important, I made this mistake, stake them at that time. Don't wait till they're 6 inches, 12 inches. Get them one of these green little stakes. You can get them on sometimes Marketplace, you'll find them, but I got these from Amazon. Pounded in. I didn't do every plant because I have this corral method going on. But it's super important, even if you do like a dozen, get them staked at that age when they're little. Otherwise you won't be able to, what you'll do is pierce the tuber. If you try to insert it later, you want to get it in
when you know where it's at.
Because the worst thing is growing it halfway and then you shove a spike into the tuber and kill it.
This guy's sleeping, so cute.
That's the drunk bee. So yeah, another important thing that I have done with some and didn't do with others is you're going to want to do a first pinch on it. Let it get 4 sets of true leaves. They're like on opposite sides of each other. It's painful because you're like, it's finally alive, it's growing. Let's pinch it. So you're going to take it, just pinch it off. What it does, it creates another branching. So you're going to get twice as many blooms. Otherwise, you get a single stem dahlia like this with little, and then you have to do super deep cuts in order to make new ones mid-season, and that's, you know, it'll take a while to recover from that. So pinching is what you want to do after that. Then basically, I would throw some slow release fertilizer in the hole. Osmocote.
Okay.
Familiar with that? Sprinkle that in the hole all season. I would add it midway as well. Again, I'm a heavy fertilizer. And then you're going to want to start hitting it with nitrogen type fertilizers. I mean, if you don't want to be crazy, just go get Miracle Grow. I didn't use that, but water them with that. You want to get the green going. Once the green starts going, more leaves, taller, you start to see buds, back off on the nitrogen, then switch up to something that's going to support the blooms. So Jack's, I think is what I use. Jack's Bloom, I have it in the shed. Bloom Boost. I foliar feed. I like liquid fertilizers. So I have a big 2-gallon pump sprayer. Fill that. Soak everybody's leaves. Occasionally I'll hit the roots or the base of the plant, but I'm mostly foliar feeding. And then you just watch them grow. And some of them can be super challenging. They can never bloom, like my Cafe LA minis. This is a really popular one here. This is Thomas Edison. It's a dinner plate variety. I don't think mine is getting as big as they should, but I guess I could blame it on that grow bag. Oops, another bee hanging out. I've become friends with the bees.
I've noticed that over the years, just in gardening, you kind of just get used to them.
You know, I went to this guy's place. He does native flowers. He's nothing but native flowers. So I thought, well, I better do that too. I need to go get me some butterfly weed, which I did. And he's holding the bees. I mean, he, like this bee, he would just, it's like, the males aren't going to bite you. I said, well, how do I know what one is a male? And he described to me what it would look like. I'm like, well, I don't know that we'll be that good of friends so that we can hold the thing. But yeah, there's cucumber beetles everywhere. Which is another topic of dahlias and their pests. You've got big pests with dahlias, from spider mites, thrips, slugs, earwigs, don't like those at all, cucumber beetles that can really wreak havoc. And to be honest, I've had most of those, but the cucumber beetle for me seems to be the most destructive. when it comes to blooms, it's all it wants.
Yeah.
If it hits your bud, eats some of these, it's going to open up deformed. So there are ways to treat, but I guess it depends on what your preference is. If you're okay with chemicals, I don't. I've never used them. I mean, we have pets. I don't want to breathe them in. I don't want to touch them. I don't want them on my skin. I just don't. We have fish, koi. I don't want to overspray something and then kill my husband's koi. So we don't do that. But
yeah, that's definitely a personal choice, and there's nothing wrong with that.
and I feel I do. We need the bees. This is their food source. I don't have any intent on harming bees or butterflies. I try to do things to attract them. So it's tough. The spider mites, they're tough. Spider mite damage is going to start typically at the bottom, work its way up. You'll start seeing dying leaves, drying up, and you might even get lucky and see a tiny web or two, and then you know it's a spider mite. If I had that, I would take that plant and just move it. Mm-hmm. It's not going to stay in the bed, sorry. Thrips, very difficult to control, but I have done, I personally water foliage. I know a lot of people say don't do that, but I do because it washes them off. I've always been successful with that. I don't just base water my plants. So I think there is something to that. You can also make there's some DIYs, pesticides, where you just use light dish soap, little bit of rubbing alcohol. Don't ever do that during the day when the sun's on them. Burn them up. Only in the morning, sometimes in the evening, but I wouldn't recommend, just because they may not dry in time overnight. That's a C5. So yeah, the cucumber beetles, I don't know what to tell you. If someone could tell me, that'd be great.
Well, you never know. Maybe somebody will watch this and have a really good idea.
Well, I've heard nematodes. I have some in my refrigerator. Sounds gross. I just ordered them from, I think, Arbico Organics. And you have to put them in a hose end sprayer. I assume it's to go in my grass, but I think I'm going to put them in the grow bags as well. I'm going to spray them in the garden. They'll only take care of the in-soil larva or eggs or whatever is down there. I don't know much about cucumber beetle process, but yeah, pests can be a big issue. You'll get to learn which damage is which. There is something else that I have started doing. I can't say that it's working as much. Maybe for me, when I would see pests come in, I would start to see maybe deformed flowers, and I thought, oh no, that's thrips. Within a day or two, I'll start seeing beneficial pests come in, like there's pirate bugs. There's other bugs that it's really strange how they just show up to your property. Increase in spiders, daddy long legs, big spiders at night.
Yeah, this is the first year I ever saw lacewing eggs.
Oh, they're so
at my place.
Aren't
yeah,
they amazing.
Mm-hmm.
First time I saw them, I'm like, that's got to be bad. It's really cool looking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can always order that kind of stuff online. It is difficult. People will say, I'm going to order ladybugs. Okay, well, they're going to leave in about a day or two. I've had that experience. If they're not native to your particular area, they'll just eat and leave. I mean, they're capturing them from other areas of the U.S. and wherever, not here. So if you see a ladybug, I had a terrible experience with bald-faced hornet. Don't like them. Little ladybug, I was right there. This bald-faced hornet came in, stung the ladybug and killed it. Not kidding.
Wow.
Immediately I'm on Google. Do bald-faced hornets eat ladybugs? And they're like, no, they just kill anything that is...
It's competition?
Exactly. They'll kill bees, but they claim they pollinate. I haven't seen that. I just see them being annoying with other pests. But we've seen some really strange bugs that look like scorpions, and my husband right away pulls out whatever on his phone and he looks it up and he tells me what it is. So, but it's pretty cool. It takes a day or two for these beneficials to come in and help you out. But again, if you get a If you get one that looks like spider mites, pull it. Dahlias are also subject to viruses. In fact, I think I read somewhere that it's like up to 80% of dahlias will get a virus. That's my virus area. That's my sick bay.
So when they do get a virus, is that just in the
Death
tuber
to
then?
It is. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're having difficulty getting your tuber to eye up, or once it eyes up, it starts to kind of, you don't understand, like, why is this one just declining? I had one in particular, Caribbean Fantasy. No matter what I did, I took cutting after cutting of this, because you can do that. I took cutting after cutting of this tuber while I was growing them inside in April, and they just kept dying. That's the only one that made it. And when it finally made it, it was just full virus. So yeah, and it hasn't recovered. There's been a couple I've had that started off with like this called the mosaic. You can show it on the leaves how it looks for somebody to recognize it on their own, but don't mind the hot dog. We have dogs. So this is, you can see the spotting, the patterning on the leaves where it gets yellow like that. Sometimes it can be like a deficiency, so hit it with some fertilizer. See if it changes for you in like a week, 2 weeks tops, but separate the plant. That's why grow bags are nice and pots, because you can move it. It'll spread, and the way it spreads is a little bug's gonna get on here, he's gonna do his thing, and he's gonna take that and he's gonna go to your next plant, and now your next plant is potentially gonna develop it. But I guess about 80% of them have a virus. So my thinking is, when people are like, I threw it out, I'm like, no, maybe don't sell the tubers, but the plants sometimes, like us, can recover from a virus. And if it does, you'll see new leaves. In fact, my husband just put one back in rotation. Beautiful, I think. Looked similar. It had a new stalk come out. Perfectly fine. Not an issue. So I chopped the old one off, and looks great. Powdery mildew, that's another one. They won't kill your plant, but it'll make the leaves look ugly. It'll spread pretty rapidly. There is a nice fix for that, which is water, baking soda, dish soap, foliar spray every few days. You can see where some of mine have been correcting, and they'll send out a new shoot, and it doesn't have any on it. So, and it's staying clear. Like this guy here, he's definitely part of the powdery mildew plant, but all of his new growth up here doesn't have it, nor does the new growth here. It's gone, but you can see the old there. And some of them, they just succumb to it. They, you know.
That'd be me if I was a plant. I would just give up.
I can't take it.
I can't do it anymore.
I got the mildew now. I've got thrips. I've got Spider-Man.
I'm done. I'm
beetles.
done.
Exactly. Why does anyone grow it? I'm just like, please find somebody else's garden. Somebody's got to be growing tomatoes around here. Just go. But no. Something else that I just learned today on this Facebook group. I'm complaining about cucumber beetles. Oh, they're terrible. And she's like, you don't happen to grow amaranth, do you? And I said, I do. Why? First year. And she goes, because there's something with that big tall red thing there, amaranth. Cucumber beetles love it. She goes, you likely attracted them to your yard, and now they're reproducing in your yard. I never had them.
Well, I hadn't seen them. I mean, I've been in my house for 20 years.
Okay.
And I've been gardening for probably, I would say 15 of those.
Yeah.
On a small, like I said, all containers, grow bags,
Sure.
small scale. I've never seen cucumber beetles before this year. Yeah. And they're eating all the buds on my roses.
I don't have roses, but I had tomatoes a few years ago. I've had other things. Hostas, my hostas get eaten up by slugs a lot, but I've never had a cucumber beetle. And I'm like, wow, they just love Dahlia. And they're like, well, yeah, but what else do you have there? And when I told her, she's like, get rid of it.
Well, maybe this is a good prompt for a little bit of research.
Maybe.
Do a little bit of cucumber beetle research and see what we can come up with.
The neighbor's yard. So this little area here, he's we had a couple trees need cut down, and the stumps are there. So we're putting a little fairy house, if you will. I ordered some, he's putting cedar shingles on it, on this side, on both, but we're gonna have little windows and a little door and a little ladder, just for interest, because basically, you know, it's just sitting there's a tree stump. But this is my herbs. Rosemary, lemon verbena, I've got some oregano. This is just what's in here this year. I did have cilantro, it's gone. Cilantro drives me crazy. It's just the one and done. I mean, if you don't pick it, you need it. Do you know? Exactly. It's annoying. I'll just buy it. But there's some basil, and this is my little sedum section. These are all plants that I'll put in with bouquets, right? I don't grow a lot of other flowers. I might try zinnia. So it looks kind of weird because all the plants are sleeping now for the winter, but I've got some, these are, I can't ever think of the name of them. They're a white.
I mean, that's a great idea though, to plant things that you're going to use and plant them in the landscape and not necessarily just in a...
take up space in my yard.
Yep.
Which is helpful because if I need to cut a bouquet really quick, I just kind of run back here, snip, 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 throw them in. This is where I'm going to keep, I have plans to move the wood pile, move the next thing, and this is all hostas because it really gets zero light. They do okay. This guy, he does. This guy is sad. He gets slugs. He gets sun, harsh sun in the evening. I don't know what's happening, but...
I like all of your tags.
Yeah,
Everything's labeled nicely.
Yeah. Sometimes they wash away. This is my new bed that I'm kind of debating. It's either going to be celosia, it's going to be more plants to go or cuttings to go into the bouquets. This is my little feed the birds, and that's something else you're going to want to do. If you have dahlias and you have pests, feed the birds, bring the birds to your yard.
Have you seen them eating things off of them?
I have seen hummingbirds in there picking off. I don't know what they were picking off, but they were darting in and out of there, picking things. I don't know what it was. Anyways, birds, feed. Sometimes we see a raccoon back here. How he gets in our yard, it's fenced, I don't know.
That's a lovely specimen right there.
Isn't it? It's doing really well.
Yeah,
I have another
that's
one
really pretty.
inside so this is kind of our backup bird bath when they're fighting in that bird bath, and they come over here to this bird bath. We just tried to put grass seed in here a little while ago. Our dogs love to come back here and kind of chill, so this is kind of the dog hangout. This is our rain garden. This used to be just a patch of grass back here that never really grew well because every time it rained it would be smushy and spongy, and so we decided we're going to dig it up. And now when it rains really hard, it fills with water.
That's really neat.
Yeah, my little Grogu guy back there. We have another bird house going to happen, the little fairy house, I should say, he's working on. Well, we used to put hostas down in it, and they did survive, but they were unhappy being drowned in water. Because not only do we capture rainwater in here, this is where we flood water from our pond. So when we do the cleaning of the filter barrels over there, we have a pipe that just sends all the fish waste. And I never need to water this area of my yard with a sprinkler. I never have watered with my hose. It's always the greenest. It tells you what's in fish emulsion that you buy the fish fertilizer.
I do. I buy the Alaska fish fertilizer.
It works. It works.
It's expensive.
Yeah, I use it for my indoor plants too, but you're on a much lower scale there outside.
That's pretty grass. Let's look at the fish. Let's look at the fish.
Enough of this green stuff.
Are these bald cypress?
Uh-huh.
Do you
I
love
love
them?
having somebody come visit that knows stuff. Yeah, I love them. I love the bark, the peely bark.
Yeah,
This
it's
one's
really
sort of
pretty.
looking like, I don't know, Lord of the Rings sort of tree happening. Yeah, we love them. They're fast growers.
That's what I've heard.
I
think that's something I would probably want to invest in someday.
Yeah, you can get them relatively inexpensive. So this is the fish.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab some food and go get it.
Holy cow, look at these guys. Oh,
Very old.
I was gonna say, how old are
I'd
these?
say some are probably, my son's 21, so, I would say 15, 16 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're gonna look that. They'll eat out of your hand, but I don't. If one lands on the ground, we're gonna have to grab it. Plans are to expand the pond. When we first moved here, we had fish at the old house. We brought them here in coolers, I kid you not. First things first, dig a hole, quickly, get the fish in. So it's not the size that we wanted. It's the size we could dig at the time. So,
Where did you get have you just gotten them?
there's a
Over the
guy
years?
Black River Floyd in Columbia Station where we have gotten many, many, many of these. I've actually ordered fish online a couple times on, I don't know, maybe eBay. They all have names. My daughter names every single one of them. Sunny and Cher are in here somewhere. And then we got some little tinies in there. She named one Dexter after that murdering show. This behind here, it's a mess right now, but it was a bog. We kind of dismantled it because it became something that needed cleaned too much. We had iris in there, and the roots, it really did kind of help. It helps with the nitrogen cycle. But it turned out it started to develop sludge at the bottom, so we had to stop it. But these guys should be getting an upgrade.
They hope so anyway.
Yeah, this is like 12 by 6. It's about 4 feet deep. The new pond plans are, I think he said, 20-some feet by 16 feet.
I'll tell you what, never thought I needed a koi pond until now.
Plant they have a name for it. What is it? Where it's like a distraction garden where you put the things that you think they'll love and it attracts them over there. But for me,
Yeah. Oh, what is that?
yeah, there's
Can
a
I
name.
not remember that?
Yeah, I know.
What the heck?
I know, it's right there. Yeah.
It's not like a capture plant. It's
No, I know. I know. What
I
you
want
mean.
that. I want it to be that word because that's the only
Yeah.
one I could come up with.
Definitely something. We'll think of it. But
Definitely gonna edit that out.
I've been
Our combined genius wasn't going anywhere.
Roll on.